Hello there, and welcome to episode 13 of the How Uncivilized Podcast. We're back after our Christmas, or should I say Life Day, break. It's 2021 and we've got a fresh couple of episodes for you. Today, we're doing something a little different. I'm moving away temporarily from Rogue One to have some fun with some more theoretical and philosophical questions. Expect things to get pretty crazy, but for now, sit back and enjoy.
Well, hello there, Charles.
Hello there, Spencer. Welcome to 2021.
2021, indeed, it is our first podcast of this fine year.
I mean, fine might be not quite the operative word, but we're here.
Fine as in rather than fine as in caviar.
Yeah, fine as in this is fine. This everything's fine.
That'll do, donkey, basically. Yeah, that's where
That'll
we're
do.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
And yes, in the spirit of that'll do, we've got a bit of a different episode for you today. Something a little different, a little spicier. Well, not necessarily spicier, probably milder than what we normally do.
Exactly. This is the korma of all podcasts.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a korma, just not the most exciting curry out there.
No, it definitely isn't. It definitely isn't the most exciting, but yet there is creaminess to it. And that is what we'll present to you today. Just a fuck ton of cream.
Absolutely, yeah. More cream than is really needed in a curry.
Yeah, so we've set this episode up slightly differently, as Charlie says. What we're going to do is Charles has got some questions for me, and I've got questions for him. So in some ways, it is similar to the usual format. However, these questions are completely philosophical. We haven't seen them before. So I haven't seen Charlie's questions for me, and Charlie hasn't seen my questions for him. But instead, we're going to sort of answer these philosophical questions just off the cuff. Basically, you'll hear our opinions on a wide variety of intriguing and niche Star Wars topics.
Oh, you've gone niche, have you? I've gone grand scheme of things. You've got such a wide scope
Grand
with mine.
Admiral Thrawn, have we?
Yes, Grand Admiral Broad.
Oh, I like Grand Admiral Broad.
And as you can probably tell, it doesn't necessarily need to be Rogue One related. Although mine is kind of Rogue One related.
Mine is, in a broad sense, probably not, but
Ooh,
I know.
that's exciting.
I've gone a lot more broad this time, Charlie. I thought if we could, it's a new year, it's a new us, it's a new bit of the podcast here. We're trying a different format out, so I thought for that format, let's go a bit broader. Let's really get to the nuts and bolts of the Star Wars universe, especially to do with the Jedi and the Force. So that's what I've decided to dip into this episode.
Very nice. That kind of diverts away from mine, because mine's more of a, let's say, a political type question within the Star Wars universe.
Oh, he's gone political, has he?
Yeah, it's
already?
How you're going to politic your way out of this. That's essentially what the question is.
Wow, okay. You just avoid, the question. Do they just ask the question, you just go, well, I'm just incredibly, happy about this other thing, and then divert.
Yeah.
It's avoid, divert, avoid, whisk and stir and
beat. So good. Yeah, mine's actually a trick question where if you answer the question at any point, then you failed. That's the question wrong and you're out.
Oh wow, okay.
I mean, not really. That would be a much better idea than what I've actually done. kind of regretting I didn't do that now. But, you win some, you lose some.
Do you know what I was thinking, though? Is we should definitely do a end of Rogue One quiz.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's something we've got lined up. We've still got some content on Rogue One to go, but we're kind of getting to the end, I feel like, of all of our Rogue
definitely.
One.
And it was worth taking a little break from all of Rogue One, really just to tap in to a little special episode.
Yeah. Keep things fresh and interesting, not just for us, but for you as well. Give you a little bit of a curveball where it's like, we're still playing baseball, but you didn't see that coming.
Yeah, you didn't see that coming at all. I mean, it just came from nowhere and bam, there it is.
I didn't see it coming either because this was your idea. So,
I love my
if it's
idea.
Terrible, we know who to blame.
That we do. That we definitely do.
And also, it's 2021. Let's just have a bit of fun. We're here in lockdown. There's a coup going on in America. Congrats, guys.
Yeah, well done.
And yeah, so it's just time to have a little bit of a chill, a little bit of a natter, a little bit of a chin wag about, something Star Wars related.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. It's about damn well time.
Absolutely. Absolutely wootly. Okay, so I think that's enough stalling.
I know, haven't we been stalling?
Spencer, this first question for you is all about the rebellion. Keep it kind of Rogue One related, talking about the rebellion. So,
oh, I love a bit of rebellion action.
I love a bit of rebels. Everyone loves a rebel, Harry. There we go. So, imagine that a galactic empire has just taken power and you are 90% sure that it's pretty shady. How do you, Spencer Lawrence, go about forming a rebellion, bearing in mind that if the Empire catches you, they will kill you?
Well, Charlie, what I would do to begin with is start lightly searching for people of like-minded nature.
Okay.
So what I'd do is, say I was on a planet. Obviously this is a very broad question, but what am I in this world? Am I just average Joe, or am I a senator, or what's the dealio?
I'll say that you are in a position of power enough that you have some culpability and responsibility towards a group of people. Say you are a senator for a planet which is not a main planet like Coruscant, somewhere like Naboo, where it's a bit out the way a bit. You're responsible, but not a huge political power. Actually, no, Naboo can get quite important, so not Naboo.
Well, in that case, I'd probably see if I can look on the planet to see if I can find like-minded people. Obviously, I'm going to have to start branching out, but you've got to start at home, and you've got to make sure that the planet turns into an anti-empire, almost anti-establishment planet. That's where I'd begin. I'd look at, weeding out some of the, corrupt, disgusting empire officials in my own planet.
Yeah.
So, what I do from a position of power I'd probably start looking at the security force or the armed forces and see if I can create my own little, peaceful coup d'etat. Okay. Where I can remove any kind of semblance of power. I think I'd probably do it, there's got to be a fair balance of actual physical fighting and silver-tongued maneuvering.
Yeah. So are you staying in your position that you have? You're not like quitting your job as a kind of big, scene to be like, I'm not standing for this, I quit.
Well, I don't think I'd be much use out on the battlefield. I think I'd be more useful, in the political fray, pulling strings. I'd gladly lick Vader's boots when he came in. But as soon as that fucker's gone, I'm doing my own thing, And so, I'll keep the pretense going until I am in a position where I have enough strength to be able to repel the Empire on my own planet. I think that is where I would begin.
Yeah.
So, I'd probably start by creating political alliances, trying to win people over, and looking at more, I imagine at that point that the democratic functions would be null and void, as that is the Empire's way. So, we couldn't look at the democratic alleyways, per se, but I think, using influence and power is definitely a formidable tool.
Yes.
As well as using power of the other kind, which is just in manpower and physical presence. So I think it's definitely about winning the hearts and minds of people. So I'd, be selling the message of, we can have a better planet. It doesn't have to be so overrun, spread that around.
Yeah. What kind of persona are you putting forward? Are you putting forward a persona of that you look like you're all for the Empire, but actually you're not? Or are you full on, this is me, this is what I believe?
Oh, no, I'm full on, I'm working for the Empire type vibe that I'm giving across. I would install a figurehead leader to lead the sort of rebellion within the planet. I myself would be that de facto leader. So I don't think everyone would, I don't think everyone would love me. But I wouldn't want them to love me because I would want to be in a position where I
respect me.
Exactly. No, but seriously, I want to be in a position where I could make an actual difference. And I feel like being I'd rather be on the inside pissing out than the outside, pissing in.
Well said, sir.
But yeah, and then through that, I would manipulate the world into a position where this insurgency grows bigger and can inflict, a damaging blow to the establishment there. I imagine there'd be a governor of the planet at that point. I'd try and overthrow them. And then from that point, it would be difficult. I mean, taking a whole planet from the Empire is difficult. You'd have to look at sort of rearranging resources. Do I have enough manpower to be able to sustain the planet? Yeah. So based on that, I would probably start looking off-world at what kind of financial support I could garner.
Yeah.
Look at any kind of industrial places. Can I build ships using the financial power and influence?
That was going to be another one of my questions of, you say you would stay on your home planet, but the other option would be, of course, to move out to worlds on, say, for example, the Outer Rim, which are less influenced by things like the Empire and the Galactic Republic.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a starting point. It would involve temporarily sort of saying, goodbye and good luck to the majority of my home planet. But I don't know. I don't know if that would do more good or less good abandoning the planet. I mean, you could say it could do good in that it would take the battle away from that planet. There'd be a lot less risk for the people, but then there'd be no one to sort of protect them if things went wrong. I don't know. It's a tricky one. But there's also that third option of just continuous movement. The Rebel fleet in episodes 5 through 6, they were constantly moving. They never stood still. They were flying between places. They were just one big cohort.
Yeah. Well, here's a question for you. Say, for example, that you get approached by the actual Rebel Alliance and they ask you, could we put a base on your planet? What do you say? Are you saying yes or no to that?
Well, in theory, they wouldn't approach me. They'd approach the figurehead.
Very true.
Yeah, so that's up to them. Obviously, I'd have my answer. It would probably be a yes. Obviously, I don't think I'd say no to that. But I do think
it's
actually
an awful risk, though, Spencer.
There is a big risk.
A lot of people's lives to
keep
a few rebels safe.
Well, exactly, but it does depend on the nature of this base. Is it a covert base? Is it a military base? Which one is it?
Well, which one would it be, Spencer? You're the one in charge.
Well, I'd want a covert base, obviously. I wouldn't want a military base. There's no point
not
having
an overt base. Not one with a huge flag on the side saying we're rebels.
We're here and we're ready to rebel.
Yes.
No, probably not. Not quite like that. But no, I think I'd probably I'd say yes to a base. Yeah.
Nice. Very, very good. But of course, in this situation, they probably wouldn't be approaching you because you are the de facto figurehead who everyone thinks is in the pocket of the Empire.
Exactly. Yeah. So, the problem with that is that people who aren't in my inner circle, the fanatics, might try and assassinate me.
That's very true. Like, it's towing the line between keeping yourself on the right side but not giving too much away.
It's very risky, but I'm willing to take that risk based on the fact that the Empire has more resources. And for at least the short term, I'm in safer hands there. Of course, if there gets to a point where the Empire is, it's on the fence. The rebellion is at a point where it's becoming more powerful than the Empire, then of course I'll jump ship and I'll be like, yeah, I was with you all along. Take me in, guys.
I was totally doing stuff. I was always team. And then when if the Empire win, you can be like, oh yeah, screw those
guys,
rebels.
I was totally working for you guys this whole time. I just said to them that I was
totally
with them
being
because
like a double agent. So they thought I was one of them, but you thought I was one of you, and it turns out I was one of you. And,
I had you guys, but no, I was definitely with you the whole time. Oh. Yeah, no, it depends. I mean, as we were anticipating, this question is very broad and brings up a wild range of topics.
Yeah. Well, in that case, let me give you my second question, which is a lot more specific than the first one.
Fire
but
away.
Equally, you can go wild with it. So, with these political leaders, I have to say, this was after a discussion with my dad. I said what question we were doing, and he posed the question, what hairstyle would you have? Because if you think about it, the hairstyle of a politician is very important. And this is a politician in a galaxy far, far away. This is a land where aliens exist. How do you style yourself as a rebel, or in this case, an Empire devotee?
Right. So we're basically talking, we're talking like on a spectrum from West Wing to Hunger Games. Where would my hairstyle lie? Well, I mean, I'd like to say it's a little bit more flamboyant because I believe that people in those positions have got to be flamboyant. I mean, I'm assumed to be a rich aristocrat.
Aristocrat. I mean, it's your world if you want to be an aristocrat.
Yeah.
Because, what they say, because a cat's the only cat
who knows where it's at.
Who knows where it's at.
Indeed. No, well, I'm a very, influential sort of drinking champagne, eating caviar kind of guy from the outset. So I suppose I've got to maintain that appearance. So I think I'd probably go closer to Hunger Games than anything else. I think I'd have probably silver curls.
Ooh, silver curls.
Yeah,
nice.
Silver curls.
Would you have a, say, for example, like a mustache that you could curl suspiciously?
I think definitely a walrus moustache would be my choice, yes.
Again, silver, I'm guessing?
Well, of course, silver. I mean, if anything kicks off, I want to blend in with an 80-80.
So, essentially, you want to be a more curly-haired Albert Einstein.
Well, when you put it like that, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be... He's kind of leaning on white hair. I'm going for more silver.
Oh,
not
silver.
White or grey. Yeah, I want actual silver. Shimmering silver.
Oh, that'd be lovely, Spencer.
Yeah.
That'd be very nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Yeah, that's cool.
And also, I'd like an important hat.
Yes, that would be my follow-up question. Would be, how would you dress? Are you going full on like robes, i.e., Senator or Emperor Palpatine style, or you going for something a bit more...
I think I'd go for something more kind of on the verge of, like Japanese robes,
okay.
Stuff that they wear, more intricate, more free-flowing.
Yeah,
I think I'd go for that with maybe some sort of like thick coat on top.
Yeah.
To sort
nice
of
and free-flowing to allow you to piss outwards, yeah.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
I anticipate there will be a lot of pissing to be done before the war is won.
Oh, absolutely.
Indeed. So I will have a pissing window.
Is that going to be your slogan? There's a lot of pissing to be done before the war is won.
Well, yeah, it's going to be on my my left-wing protest album.
Oh, nice.
Released by me as part of an election campaign.
Under a pseudonym, or are you fully owning this?
Oh, I think MC Binks would probably be the pseudonym. Yes,
nice.
Indeed. And the album name would be Misa Gonna Blow Your Mind.
I mean, what else would it be?
Oh, what other names?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I really only thought of that one, to be honest. I mean, it's either or it's Yoda Goes to Hollywood.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good as well.
Yeah, I mean... What more do you want?
Would you worry about such a close affiliation to the Jedi, who were considered traitors by the Empire?
Ah, you're right. You're right. No. Maybe I wouldn't like that. Maybe I should call it the Bantha bourgeoisie.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good because it kind of it says bantha, so it's kind of down to earth, but it's also bourgeoisie, so it's like
exactly.
It kind of covers all bases. Where you're saying I'm one of the people, but you're also saying I'm a fancy one of the people.
Exactly. Banthas, they come in their herds. I'm just talking, I'm just part of the herd, but except I have a bottle of champagne. That's the only difference. We're all the same, really, except when we're not.
Absolutely. That's absolutely right.
Yeah, I feel like I've nailed that, really. I don't think I would probably... I don't think I'd be flaunting that as much. The drinking and the eating. But, I'd like to look really good. I'd like to look really smart. And I think I would have a cohort of advisors around me.
Yeah.
I imagine my advisors would look a bit like that blue guy that follows Palpatine round. He's big. What was he, like the Speaker of the Senate or something? I can't actually remember.
Something like that.
Something like that. He had quite a large booming voice. I'd probably have a guy like that to do all my talking, Clear the way, the senator from whatever the planet's called is coming through. Yeah.
I mean, how would you want your advisors to dress? Would you want them to be dressed similar to you, or would you want them to be, styled in their own way?
They'd all be naked for their penance.
Ah, nice.
No. I mean, definitely. I'd probably have them in simplistic clothing. I wouldn't want them to outshine me. But equally, I'd only ever choose them from, high up backgrounds. So I imagine they too would have, they'd have an element, maybe a brooch, maybe the odd thing here and there just to make them stand out.
A signature accessory.
Yeah, definitely. But they're not allowed silver hair or robes.
That's your thing.
That is my thing.
You have, you've got a hat, but what kind of jewelry or accessories would you sport?
I imagine I'd probably sport something, a couple of rings. Rings are quite nice, aren't they?
Yeah.
You can't go too far wrong. No, they're eccentric enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of rings. That'd be nice.
A couple of rings.
Maybe a necklace.
Oh, yeah, nice necklace.
But one of those really long ones, the ones that hang on your belly.
Yeah.
Makes you seem like a shaman.
It's got a proper
guru.
weight to it as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I probably have. Something along those lines. And I haven't worked out whether my hat is going to be, a military hat or whether it's going to be like a long hat that sort of droops down.
A long hat.
Well, yeah.
When you say long, do you mean tall or do you mean just long like a boat on your head?
I just mean a hat that droops, That like,
oh, yeah.
Like some people wear those hats that kind of, like a Santa hat kind of thing, but not a Santa hat.
I don't think you're going to be wearing like a nightgown, essentially.
Yeah, I'm going to look like Ebenezer Scrooge waking up with a ghost. That'll be my constant look for the whole time I'm in power. Just looking like I'll walk around with a candle holder as well. Really, really complete, cement the look.
Man, no one would ever suspect that you're planning the downfall of the Galactic Empire.
Well, no, they wouldn't. Who'd do that in their pajamas? A madman.
Absolutely not. You're dressed for relaxation, not war.
Exactly. Yeah. I am giving off the feeling of home comforts, relaxation, and the old champagne and caviar night.
Yeah. This isn't necessarily related to the question, but what kind of planet do you live on? What kind of, terrain are we thinking about?
Well, for me, I think I'm thinking of a temperate climate, something like foresty. I think I'd go for the forest.
Because I was thinking, if you're wearing just like pajamas, essentially, you'd want somewhere pretty warm.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have to wrap up whenever you left.
Yeah, I'm thinking sort of rainforesty kind of vibes. It's
nice.
Warm, maybe slightly moist. That's what I'm thinking, kind of a luscious environment, lots of plants, lots of tall climbing.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably where I'd see myself, something a little bit more nature specific. I definitely wouldn't go for Coruscant in terms of their...
No.
I hate the idea of all buildings.
Yeah, the city life, not for you.
I mean, actually, that's a good point. What was Coruscant before it was all building? Because there's no way it was just like created and it was just all just empty office buildings and people started buying it out.
I don't know.
Because it's got to be something underneath there.
Absolutely. Unless it was... I mean, no, because the Death Star was the biggest space station ever, so they couldn't have just made a city planet.
No, because Coruscant would then be bigger than the Death Star.
Yeah, clearly it was some kind of planet before it was just a city planet.
Yeah, exactly. But I can't work out what it would have been. I mean, I imagine it would have been some kind of... let's just say it's something like Earth, pretty basic.
Yeah, and they ruined it.
And they ruined it.
Honestly. Nothing left now, just all buildings.
Yeah, but what happens to all the water? Did they just get it all pumped out? Because there must have been water on the planet.
Maybe it was underground water. Maybe it was like underground lakes and stuff.
Could have been, couldn't it?
Perhaps maybe it was a big rocky type planet with lots of underwater ravines and stuff. I feel like that would be a good place to settle at first underground, and then you build all your buildings on top of it.
Yeah, I like the idea of that, actually.
I feel like it would make me feel more comfortable at night to know that it was kind of a bit of a desolate world, and that's why they turned it into a cityscape.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Yeah, they sort of re-energized it, upcycled the planet, so to speak.
Yeah, it was probably a mineral-rich planet as it was, so they could get in all of their mineral resources needs.
Well, indeed, quite.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably where I'd see my planet as being, quite a rainforesty style.
Rainforesty. Are you thinking like Kashyyyk? Are you thinking that your buildings are like up in the trees or?
Oh, no. I'm not thinking that at all. I mean, there will be a foresty bit, but where I'm thinking my city it'll be amongst plants and stuff, but it'll be kind of just on the ground.
So it would be like urban type thing where you will have cleared a bit of rainforest to make your city.
Yeah, but, I mean, only a little bit, but I mean, it'd be surrounded by plants, so it's definitely we're treating the environment right. We're not. We got rid of the wood, but we're using the wood to build things. So I mean, it's all good.
Okay, very nice, very nice.
What about yourself, Charlie? I mean, if you were a Star Wars character, where would your planet be?
Well, my planet would probably be. Let's think. What kind of things do I like? I would like somewhere which is kind of a hilly, kind of long grass kind of planet. I love the idea of like almost like the Dothraki Sea in Game of Thrones, but a world which is just full
Dothraki.
of rolling hills and tall grass, like really tall grass, like taller than a person tall grass. That would be pretty cool.
Wow, that would be really impressive.
Yeah, and then there's a breeze, so it all sways in the breeze. That would be real nice.
So when you mention Dothraki, does that mean that your race isn't necessarily as civilized? I feel like it's an unfair word, but advanced.
That's the name of the show.
Roll credits,
and
please.
Finish. There we go.
But yeah, would it be as advanced as, say, the civilization on Naboo? Or would it be less advanced? I mean, you say it's related to the Dothraki. I just wonder where you picture their evolution.
I think it would definitely be more of a rural kind of planet, more farming based, perhaps.
Yeah.
And the technology there would have come from other worlds visiting, essentially. That's how I imagine. Because in Star Wars, everything's kind of connected because you can travel anywhere at light speed. So there's definitely signs of civilization. But the primary resource of the planet, I would say, is farming and those kind of materials you get from a, farming and domestic culture.
Oh, yeah. No, I like that. Kind of slow life. You're in for the slow life.
Yeah.
Walking amongst hills,
it
farming.
Kind of being a nice, almost holiday destination. Maybe like tourism would be a good thing because in amongst all the grass and stuff, you get little patches of like water and lakes. So that'd be quite nice.
Ooh, nice. So a bit of a mixed environment there. We're looking at sort of hills and grass, and then a few lakes here and there. Some beauty spots.
Yeah.
Are you talking sort of mountain ranges across your planet as well?
Not necessarily, I imagine more rolling hills where the hills are significant, but it's they roll and you get ravines and stuff in in the areas. And I'm going to go a little crazy here, but I think the grass is going to be kind of a yellowy green because the soil is like a clay soil, which like dyes the water to be like almost an orangey color. I feel like that would be really cool. So it's almost like a yellowy orange kind of landscape, I'm thinking.
Wow, that sounds. I mean, it sounds nice, but also
you don't like it, do you?
I mean, on the offset, you think, "Ooh, yeah, actually, yellow, that's a bright color. Orange, that's also a bright color." But I mean, apply yellow to grass and orange to water.
Yeah.
And you've got a landfill site, my friend.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Basically, you want to live in a landfill. Oh, dear.
Yeah.
A farming landfill. Do you know what? The more I talk about this, the more it sounds like an imperial labor camp.
I mean, yeah, that's our primary resource.
So that's your form of tourism. Prisoner tourism.
Prisoners.
Do they even spend money? Like, what's going on? Where'd you get your money? Like, what? Who's supporting this? This is terrible. I thought you were meant to be a rebel planet. What is this? I'm so confused.
Oh, am I meant to be a rebel planet?
I mean, not
I don't
necessarily.
know. We'll sponsor a rebel bake sale or something, just to get on board.
We'll donate 1% of the prison profits.
No, I imagine it's the kind of place where, as it's a bit terrible, they really want to encourage people to come. So they've essentially said to the rebellion, "Oh, you can put a base here," and the rebellion are like, "No, we're all right, thanks."
We're cool. This isn't quite the place for a base.
Yeah, like we're all super keen to get them here because we're like, "Yay, rebels!" And they're like, "No, I mean the water's orange, the grass is yellow. This is not."
This isn't our place. We don't.
I'm not saying like full yellow. I'm saying like a kind of towards the yellower end of green kind of color.
Well, now I'm even more confused. So it's a yellowy green grass. Okay, so that makes it like 5% better. Well done. You've just raised the profile of this planet. Perfect. What you've done is you've increased your rebel soldiers wanting to come to the planet from 0 to 1. So one person has turned up, you got one rebel just in the town, just acting as some kind of weird marshal.
No, what we will have is a shirtless Aidan Turner cutting the grass with a sigh. So,
How does he cut the grass?
Come see Poldark. And because it's Star Wars, it's Poldark spelt like Pol Dark with a dash in between.
Oh, of course, yeah. Poldark Yoldark. It'll be his full name.
Or to switch it round, you could have Darth Pol.
Darth Pol. Oh my word! Well, at least you have some kind of attraction there. In multiple
a major
meanings.
Attraction.
Well, actually, now you've said that, if that's the case, then I'm sure you'll have plenty of tourism. From the greater galaxy.
All the prisoners will line up to see a shirtless Aidan Turner cutting the grass. And it's a big planet, so he's going to be cutting the grass for a long time.
I'm confused. This is a prison, right? Like, why are they getting free, beautiful, like topless man shows? This seems wrong.
Because prison is about reform, Spencer. It's not about trapping people. Oh wait, it kind of is, but they can be reformed whilst they're there.
Yeah, and you think a topless Aidan Turner's going to reform all these scumbags? All these criminals and thieves.
I mean, it's
murderers.
Worth a go.
Yeah? Oh, okay. Well, if it's worth a go...
worst case scenario, they just stay in the prison,
Perfect. Well, let's contact all the various good-looking men in the UK, and we can send them to all the various prisons. And then, after a few days of them just sort of, I don't know, mowing lawns or chopping down trees or whatever shirtless men do, then
I honestly have no comprehension. I've never been shirtless myself.
I don't quite fit into that category. But yeah, so then do we release all the prisoners after a few days of just watching that? Release them back into society?
If they say they're not going to do it again, then yeah.
I promise I won't do it again. I'm not gonna kill a family again. Are you crazy?
You know, watching Aidan Turner do his thing has really made me realize that, you know, I'm a changed man.
There's a bigger picture here, you know.
Yeah.
I'm more into the slow farming life now.
Just farming all that Aidan Turner. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, there are worse things, I suppose. There are worse things in life. But yeah, so your planet would consist of basically a landfill with a prison and Aidan Turner.
It wouldn't have a landfill. It just looks like a landfill.
Okay.
It looks like a landfill if you got rid of the stuff filling the land.
Okay, so basically it's just a landfill that hasn't been used for a few years.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, I'm glad we've established that. And so where would you lie in your sort of society? Would you be a leader?
I'd be
or
in
an
the
average
grass,
guy?
you know, just laying back, chilling out.
You'd just be chilling out. I mean, who's running the society?
What society?
It's just you? Are you literally
just
the
me.
one guy there? So literally,
we've
you've
established
basically
Aidan Turner is also there.
it's just you and Aidan Turner at an overgrown landfill.
No, of course not. I'm being ridiculous. So
I like the idea, though. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, sure. Why can't that happen? You know, we can have Leia pretty much being Superwoman. You know, why can't we have two people on one planet? That's the whole population.
yeah, sure. No, so you know, it would be a small population on the planet anyway because it's primarily farming. But there would be one like major outpost, and that would be a trading outpost. So if I am in a significant position on this planet, I guess I would be the person who essentially runs this trading outpost, and that's how I would have connections with the rest of the galaxy through my position in this
Right.
trading outpost.
So I see. So you're
Yeah.
more of like a trader and businessman with social power rather than political power.
Yeah, in this scenario, yes.
Well, how very nice. That actually sounds like a cushy life. I suppose you've got no allegiance to anyone in particular. You just trade with the highest bidder.
Yeah, absolutely. But in this scenario, I wouldn't be as morally grey as I actually am in person. I would support the rebellion.
Oh, you would? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So Aidan Turner brought you around.
Yes, he did.
You were reformed.
Yes, I went there as a prisoner, but after a shirtless sighing session, I'm now reformed.
Perfect. Well, I think we should send Aidan Turner to the Capitol building in the US.
Yes, absolutely.
I was a Trump supporter, but after seeing Aidan Turner wave the American flag, I am now a strong Biden supporter. I couldn't see anything better than supporting Mr. Biden.
I mean, all we wanted was for you not to support Trump. Let's not go too far.
Yeah, exactly. Just go home and say, you know what? I think I'm done.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just going to go home.
With Aidan Turner.
Yes.
I'm going to go home with Aidan Turner, hand in hand, and we're going to rethink our lives.
We're going to tie some grass.
Oh, dear.
And have a cup of orange water.
So in this scenario, you and Aidan Turner are living together happily in a trading outpost in your planet,
Yeah.
and you're having a great time.
Having a great time. But then if I was approached by the rebellion, even though they don't want to come here, I would obviously put about that they could stay here. Because in my head, I imagine there's quite a few like tunnels and caves throughout the planet as well.
Yeah.
Because it's all so, well, largely flat on top. I imagine it's got multiple layers going under.
I mean,
the
it can be
surface.
however you want it to be. That's the great thing. You can just,
No,
you know,
it has to be a specific way.
It could literally just be like, you know, for a half a mile it could be grass, and then for another half a mile snow and ice, and
That's
the
not
next
how
one.
it works in Star Wars. It's one thing.
It's limited. It's limited.
Yeah.
You can't have just 5 different like top tropical features within the planet. It doesn't work.
That's
like
not how planets work, Spencer. It's all the same.
that. Oh dear.
Yeah, so we've established that you are a rainforest-dwelling political diplomat who's decided to take the brunt by working for the Empire, but secretly you are a rebel ally, but only to those closest to you do they know that.
And you are an eccentric trading outpost leader, businessman, who is happily married to Aidan Turner.
Yep.
That sounds pretty good. Yeah. Who mildly supports the rebellion, in between other such things.
Here's what I would do. I would use my ability or my connections to the prison, because obviously it's a prison. A lot of rebel people might get sent there. So I'll almost treat the prison as like a recruitment thing for the rebels.
Oh, brilliant. So basically you just recycle rebels that had already been rebels. And you'd convince them using your grand powers of persuasion by saying, do you want to rejoin the rebellion? At which point they'll say, yes, I'm in a fucking prison. Of course, I'll do anything.
And I'll say, without the attitude, please.
I'm noting that down on your interview form.
I don't make Aidan Turner take his top off every morning for you to complain at me.
What I give you is good, damn it. I expect some respect. But
good,
yeah.
I'm glad. Oh, and I need to pick a hairstyle, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
I would have, let's see. I'm on a planet with lots of long grass, so I feel like I would have to have long hair to reflect that.
Yeah? Well, like, are we talking long hair like, Aragorn kind of long hair, or are we talking...
No, I'm talking like,
longer.
Maybe like waist length.
Like Jar Jar Binks' ears.
Maybe even longer than that, Spencer.
Longer than his ears. Oh my God. Flipping hell. Talk about that Saruman kind of look.
And I feel like it would be, we've got the yellow grass, so it would have to be like bright yellow. Like I'm already quite blonde, but I'm thinking like unnaturally yellow kind of levels.
Bright yellow?
Not blonde.
Do you say unnaturally yellow?
Yeah. So not like when you see people with really blonde hair. I'm thinking full on like anime yellow hair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Fair. And what kind of skin tone? Are you going to go like wacky kind of green? Are you going to be green and yellow? Or are you just going to go basic kind of human skin tone? Or
let's think. The planet's let's think about it. It would be a warmer kind of planet. So I guess, but part of me just wants to go like, bright yellow, but almost like a red-orange kind of skin tone to match the water.
Oh, I really like that.
Yeah.
And that kind of matches with the planet, at least in the vision that I'm seeing,
Yeah.
Walking
that's
around.
What I'm thinking. Like, they've evolved to kind of hide amongst the trees, but then like over time, I almost feel like it would be like a statement. Maybe they do dye their hairs like blonder because it's a statement of, here I am, I've got blonde hair.
They dye their hair, so it's not a natural color.
So it's naturally yellow, but they
dye
make it like
even
more
so.
yellow. Yeah.
So that's a society. So everybody gets their hair dyed.
Yeah, it could be like a tradition type thing.
Oh, like a ceremony.
Yeah.
Ah, I like that. He's become a man, so he's got to be dyed yellow.
Yeah.
I'm going to dye his hair a thick yellow from the pale yellow it is. We're going to enrich his life.
And then everyone would drive like, I'm imagining like hover cars, but they're almost like iron shaped so that they can like cut through the grass.
Ooh, okay. So basically, it's two birds with one stone. So you're driving to a place, but you're also mowing the lawn.
I mean, not necessarily. It could easily be. Maybe that's where it came from. The idea was that it was something to aid with the farming of the grass.
Well, I mean, yeah, but then if you're doing that, then surely Aidan Turner's out of a job. What's he going to do?
No, that's
between 9 to 5?
That's more about the ceremony type thing. It's not necessarily that he's actually doing a good job.
Well, then, I mean, but isn't that part of it? Isn't the cutting of the grass part of the whole scene? He's sweating. It's. I mean, if you're just flinging around a scythe, I mean, that's not.
I think you're focusing too much on the grass.
Hey, I'm just interested. This brings up a lot of questions. I really want to iron out the logistics of this planet. You know, if Aidan Turner is a big part of the planet's, you know, society and culture, then, you know, we need to know, is he actually cutting the grass? Because if he's not, then...
I feel like there is some kind of resource in the grass which is valuable. Whether it's, I'm imagining it could be like the seeds are like maybe oil or something, like almost like vegetable oil, that kind of thing. Maybe it's a cooking thing. Maybe its primary output is, you know, culinary oils or something like that.
No, that sounds not. I mean, all I'm saying is I just don't think the prisoners, you know, would settle for mime. I think they want the real deal.
Well, they either settle or they stay in prison. So, you know,
or they join the rebellion
solved.
Once you've gone through. You have three very simple options.
Yeah, problem solved.
Oh dear. Yeah, hover cars. That's what you'd go for as your main form of transport.
Yeah, I was thinking, as it's a hover car, you could just hover above the grass. But I feel like actually like almost going through the grass like it's some kind of sea, that would be way cooler.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So they'd have to be set up for chopping the grass down, like you say. But then if it is a sea, then surely you are, like, what happens to the grass then? If it's some valuable resource and you're just like tearing it down every time you need to get from A to B, then that seems very inefficient.
If it's an established route, there clearly would be some kind of road there, so you wouldn't be cutting through the grass every time. But this is an entire planet of grass. It's not like it's a...
I see. So it's like just an ordinary farmer's field, you know, with corn, but there's like a bit where you can walk through, but then it's very tall around you.
Yeah.
Okay. I get that now. Cool. Well, I like it. I like where you're going. It sounds very imposing, and the more we talk about this, the more I want to get into the nuts and bolts of the inner workings of the planet. And I feel like we could be here for ages, just talking about the inner workings, really. I mean, I'm actually imagining now that one blade of grass is incredibly thick, you know, like an aloe vera plant, but just going very high.
Yeah.
You know, because you said they were very tall. I'm imagining incredibly tall. You know, I'm imagining towering like skyscrapers. That's how I'm imagining it now. And that in order to chop it down, you know, you've got to have proper machines and
That'd
saws.
be cool.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, to create some kind of variation in the landscape, you could have almost like different types of grass where it grows to different heights. So we've kind of settled when the grass is only about 6 foot tall, but like towards like, I feel like the poles is always where like extreme stuff happens. So at like the pole of the planet, you get like grass, which like you say is like hundreds of feet high and really thick.
That would be
stuff.
incredible. Yeah. Just a nice mix.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I wonder if there's a word for tall grass. Oh yeah, a tree. It would be a tree. But no, I get what you mean. It's not like a tree. It's literally just very, very tall grass.
Yeah. There is a distinct difference there, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the idea. I love your planet. I'm getting very invested. It started off, I'll be honest, it was an intense no from me. But, you know, you've won me over slowly.
You've got to build it out, you know? Like
You've really fleshed it out.
You saw the yellow grass and the orange water, and you were checking out. But, you know, you got to give it a chance, man.
Well, evidently, I've got to wait for the full kind of description and get really taken in by its size and also by what's involved in the society.
Yeah,
you know,
didn't
looks
hear
on
me
everything.
Complaining about your rainforest planet, where my immediate thought was that's going to be hot and sweaty, and there's going to be a lot of bugs, and that's not for me.
Hey,
but
well, you should have said. I've now got you set up with a house there. You know, you're moving in next week. Obviously, as one of my advisors.
Planet there would be a lot of thatched roofs. I think that's fair to say already. Thatched roofs.
Well, with the grass, basically. You're just going to... Everything's going to be built out of the grass.
Yeah, but because you get really, really tall grass, you can get really tall buildings just made out of the tall grass.
So you'd hollow out one of the really tall bits of grass and live in it.
That's better than the idea I had. That's really good.
What was your idea?
I don't know. You just cut down a bunch of really tall ones and make a house the normal way, just out of tall grass. But so tall that you hollow one out. That's good.
Yeah, and that could be like your big skyscraper-style buildings, just a hollowed out bit of grass.
Damn, man. That's cool.
Yeah, like
that's
the Shard, cool. but a bit of grass.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That'd be very cool.
How exciting.
How very exciting indeed.
Well, I mean, do you have any more questions, Charles? I mean, we've pretty much fleshed out our worlds and
That's me done with my philosophical questions. We've dived deep into some alternate worlds and alternate realities.
We really have.
You as a diplomat and me as I'm not quite sure, a trading post businessman prison officer.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure
In love
what
with
I
Aidan
did.
Turner.
In love with Aidan Turner. I'm sure about that, but I wasn't sure what else I was doing on the planet.
That was your starting point, just you and Aidan Turner.
Yes, and I built the world around that.
You should tell him. I think he'd be very enamored by the fact that you built a world around him. Or he'd probably see it as very creepy and block you immediately on all social media accounts.
I'm willing to roll those dice.
They will roll in his favor.
Thanks for listening to episode 13, the first of our two-part philosophical specials. You can expect the concluding part coming next week, as well as some more Rogue One content coming soon.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit for everything social media, where you can stay updated with everything How Uncivilized. There's also more tasty content on YouTube, where you can find our playthrough series. Currently, we're powering through Lego Star Wars. The How Uncivilized podcast was produced, created, and edited by Charlie Aidan Turner Forever Feasby and Spencer Einstein Ripoff Lawrence.